The finance manager will ask you one question: what monthly payment works for your budget? That question just made him $5,000 and you have no idea how. Let me show you the system they do not want you to see. 3 weeks ago, I exposed rate markups. Corporates sent legal threats. Former managers showed up asking questions. They were angry about the exposure, but they were not panicking. Now they are panicking. Because payment packing is worse. It is harder to detect, it generates more profit, and it targets the exact people who can least afford it. I am going to show you exactly how this works. And in 8 minutes, I am going to give you 6 words. Show me the clean payment first. Those 6 words dismantle their entire profit structure. But first, you need to understand why they work. Because if you say them without knowing the context, the finance manager will deflect and you will not even realize it happened. So subscribe now. When this video gets taken down, you will still have access. The industry wants you confused. I want you armed. Here is what happens when you finance a vehicle. You walk into the dealership on a Saturday. You test drive a sedan. You like it. You negotiate the price. You agree on your trade value. You say yes to the documentation fee. By the time you sit down in the finance office, you are not negotiating anymore. You are completing a pattern. Every small yes you gave in the showroom primed your brain to keep saying yes. You are tired, you are excited, you want to finish and drive home. The finance office is not a separate transaction. It is the final step of the same decision you already made. This is called the momentum capture protocol. Dealerships do not invent this. They borrowed it from behavioral psychology research done in the 1970s. When you say yes to something small, your brain releases a chemical called dopamine. That chemical makes the next yes easier. By the time you reach the finance office, you have said yes 5 or 6 times already. Your resistance is gone. They built the process around this. They know you are not reading anymore. They know you just want to leave. The finance manager walks out to the showroom. He shakes your hand. He says, "Congratulations on your new vehicle." Then he asks the question, "Before we get started on the paperwork, what kind of monthly payment are you comfortable with?" You say, "$450 per month is my max." He smiles. He says, "Let me see what I can do." That question sounds helpful. It sounds like he cares about your budget. He does not care about your budget. He cares about your ceiling because the number you just gave him became his target, not his minimum, his target. If you said 450, he is going to build 450, not 400, not 380, 450. Every dollar between the actual payment and your stated limit is profit. Pay attention to the language here. The finance manager did not ask what you can afford. He asked, what are you comfortable with? Comfortable implies flexibility. Comfortable implies breathing room. Most people add a cushion when they answer that question. They say 450 when they could really only do 400, or they say 500 when their true limit is 450. The finance manager knows this. He is extracting your safety margin before you even see a contract. This is exactly what happened to a teacher in Ohio last month. She gave him 450. He went back to his office. He opened his desking software. This software is standard in every dealership. It is called a menu builder or a payment calculator. He entered the vehicle, price, $26,000. He entered her trade value, $8,000. He entered the interest rate she qualified for, 7.4%. The system calculated the base payment, $340 per month for 72 months. $340. Her ceiling was $450. That left him $110 of room. $110 per month for 72 months is $7,920. That is his profit target. That is what he is going to try to pack into her payment without her knowledge. He opened the product menu. Gap coverage adds $40 per month. Extended warranty adds $55 per month. Tire and wheel protection adds $15 per month. Total additional cost, $110 per month. Total financed over 72 months, $7,920. New payment, $450. Her number, the number she said she could afford. He printed the paperwork. He called her into his office. She sat down. He slid a payment sheet across the desk. He said, "Great news, we were able to get you approved and keep you right at $450 per month, just like you wanted." She looked at the paper. She saw $450. She smiled. She said, "Thank you so much." She signed. She just bought $7,920 in products. She does not know what they are yet. She does not know she bought anything. She thinks $450 is the cost of the car, the interest, and maybe some fees. It is not. It is the car plus 3 products she never asked for. This is where it gets expensive. Because you are not signing 1 contract, you are signing 4. The finance manager does not hand you a single document that says, here is your payment and here is everything inside it. He hands you individual agreements. One for gap coverage, one for the extended warranty, one for tire and wheel protection. Each agreement has its own disclosure page. Each agreement has a cost buried in the fine print. Each agreement requires your signature. And because these agreements come after he already told you the payment, your brain assumes they are required. Your brain assumes they are part of the process. They are not required. They are optional. But the way he presents them makes them feel mandatory. This is called signature sequencing. It is taught in finance training programs across the industry. The strategy is simple. Present product agreements individually after confirming the monthly payment. Do not summarize costs. Do not reconnect the products to the total payment. Let the customer perceive each agreement as procedural rather than financial. Make it feel like paperwork instead of purchases. Here is how it played out with the teacher. The finance manager said, okay, your payment is locked at $450 per month. Now I just need to go over a few protections with you to make sure you are covered. He slid the first agreement across the desk. This is your gap coverage. If the vehicle is totaled and you owe more than it is worth, this makes sure you are not stuck with that debt. I just need your signature here. She signed. She thought, this sounds smart. She did not think this just added $40 to the payment he already told me. He slid the second agreement over. This is your extended warranty. It covers major components after the factory warranty expires. Signature here. She signed. She thought, okay, this makes sense. She did not think this just added $55 more. He kept going. Tire and wheel protection. Signature here. She signed 5 times in 3 minutes. She thought she was protecting herself. She was padding his commission. But here is what she never saw. The finance manager had a worksheet on his screen. She could not see his monitor. This worksheet had 2 columns. Column 1 was labeled base payment. Column 2 was labeled presented payment. The base payment column showed $340. The presented payment column showed $450. The difference, $110, was broken down line by line. Gap, 40. Warranty, 55. Tire and wheel, 15. Total back-end profit, $7,920. His commission was 20%, $1,584 for 30 minutes of work. She never saw this worksheet. It was internal, for his eyes only. But I have seen it, I used it for 4 years, and I am showing you exactly what it says. Picture this. You are financing $7,920 you did not budget for. That is not a few extra dollars. That is a second vehicle. You are financing a second car, except this car is invisible. It is made of gap coverage and tire protection and warranty plans you may never use. And it is sitting in your driveway costing you $110 every single month for 6 years. This is not the same as the rate markup I exposed 3 weeks ago. Rate markups hide profit in the interest percentage. Payment packing hides profit in the monthly number itself. Both tactics are legal. Both are taught, both extract thousands without clear disclosure, and both rely on the same psychological trick. You stop questioning once you hear the number you want. So what happens when you start reading the agreements and realize they are adding cost? What happens when you notice the gap coverage costs $1,440 financed over 72 months, and you ask, wait, is this extra? The finance manager has a script for this. He does not panic. He says, no, this is already included in the $450 payment we discussed. We built that payment to include these protections so you are fully covered. You are not paying anything extra. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? That phrase appears in training manuals 11 times. It is a psychological reset. It makes you feel like you misunderstood. It makes you feel like you are the one confused. So you nod. You say, oh, okay, I thought this was on top of the payment. He smiles. He says, no, we would never do that. Everything I am showing you is already in the $450. You are good to go. And you believe him because he is technically telling the truth. It is included in the $450. What he is not telling you is that the $450 was built specifically to include it. The base payment without these products is $340, but you do not know that. So you keep signing. Now let me show you what happens when you push harder. Let us say you ask, can I see what the payment would be without these protections? The finance manager responds with a secondary script. I understand you want to keep costs down. The challenge is that the lender approved you based on this full package. If we remove coverage, it might affect your approval terms or require us to resubmit your application, which could take another few days. Most customers find it is easier to keep the coverage and have peace of mind. Should we move forward? Stop. Replay that in your head. He never said, no, you cannot see the base payment. He said removing products might affect your approval. He said it could take more time. He made removal sound risky and complicated. He made keeping the products sound easy and safe. That is the tell. That is how you know he is packing. Here is the truth. Removing those products does not affect your approval. The lender does not care if you buy gap coverage or tire protection. The lender approved you based on your credit, your income, and the vehicle value. The products are separate. They are add-ons, they are dealership revenue. You can remove them. But the finance manager will make it sound impossible because his commission depends on you keeping them. This brings me to the darkest part of what I found in the teacher's contracts. And this is the section that made me leave the industry. She was not randomly targeted. She was specifically targeted because she said one sentence during the process: "I can only afford $450 per month." That sentence flagged her as what the industry calls a budget-sensitive buyer. And budget-sensitive buyers get packed harder than anyone else. There is a training module taught in finance offices. It is called Budget-Focused Buyer Optimization. The strategy is simple. If you are already at the top of your budget, you will not question the payment as long as it stays at or below your stated limit. Your primary concern becomes monthly affordability, not total cost. So they build the payment to your ceiling and maximize back-end profit. You are less likely to negotiate or request itemized breakdowns because you perceive the payment as a success. Read that again. You perceive the payment as a success. The manual is instructing finance managers to weaponize your relief, to use the relief you feel when you hear you are approved at a payment you can afford. That relief shuts down your critical thinking. That relief makes you sign without reading. Watch what happens next. This is where the system becomes predatory. The teacher in Ohio is a single mother, 2 kids. Her credit score was 605. Not great, but not terrible. She qualified for 7.4% interest. She needed a vehicle. Her old car had mechanical issues. She could not afford repairs. She told the finance manager her budget was $450 per month, absolute maximum. He smiled. He said, "I am going to do everything I can to keep you there." He built the payment. Base payment at 7.4% for 60 months was $340. Her ceiling was $450. That gave him $110 of room. He loaded gap coverage, $40 per month. He loaded a powertrain warranty, $55 per month. He loaded tire and wheel protection, $15 per month. New payment, $450, her number. He walked back into his office. He said, "Great news, I was able to get you to exactly $450 per month. You are approved." She smiled, her eyes teared up. She said, "Thank you so much. I was so worried I would not qualify." He said, "You are all set. Let me just get a few signatures and we will get you on your way." She signed the gap agreement. She signed the warranty agreement. She signed the tire and wheel agreement. She did not read the costs. She was relieved. She was grateful. She drove home. 6 months later, she looked at her loan statement. Something felt wrong. Her balance was not going down as fast as she expected. She pulled her contracts. She found the itemized costs. Gap coverage, $1,440. Extended warranty, $3,960. Tire and wheel protection, $1,080. Total, $6,480. She called me. She said, "I never agreed to buy these. I just agreed to the payment." That is the system. That is what they are teaching. And it is happening every single day in dealerships across the country. So how do you stop it? How do you force the finance manager to show you the base payment? How do you unpack everything they loaded without your knowledge? You say one sentence before they present any numbers. Here is what you say. "Before we talk about payments, I need to see the total cost breakdown with and without any additional products. Show me the clean payment first." Show me the clean payment first. Those 6 words dismantle the entire system because now the finance manager cannot anchor you to a packed number. He has to show you the base payment. And once you see the base payment, you can decide which products, if any, you actually want. You take control of the structure. You remove his ability to build to your ceiling. Here's what will happen when you say that. The finance manager will hesitate. He might say, "Well, I need to know what you are comfortable with first so I can structure the best deal." You do not respond to that. You repeat the question. "Show me the clean payment first." He might say, "Okay, but just so you know, most customers include some protection because it really does make sense to have coverage." You do not respond to that either. You wait. You let the silence sit. He will either show you the clean payment or he will expose that he is hiding it. If he shows you the clean payment, you now have your baseline. Let us say it is $340. He then presents the products. Gap coverage adds 40. Warranty adds 55. You can now make an informed decision. Maybe you want a gap. Maybe you do not want the warranty. Maybe you want nothing. But you are choosing based on actual cost, not based on a pre-packed number designed to extract maximum profit. If he refuses to show you the clean payment, if he keeps deflecting or says it is too complicated or says he needs your budget first, you know the markup is massive. You know he is trying to pack. You walk, you finance elsewhere, you go to your credit union, you get approved before you step into the dealership, and when the finance manager asks what payment works for you, you say, "I am already financed." I just need to finalize the purchase contract. His profit model collapses. He has no leverage. You win. This is why they hate this video. This is why the previous video on rate markups got me threatened with legal action. Because I am not just exposing what they do. I am giving you the exact language to neutralize it. And when enough buyers start using this language, their back-end profit disappears. The teacher in Ohio called me back 2 weeks after our first conversation. She went back to the dealership. She brought her contracts. She asked to speak with the finance manager. She said, I want to cancel the gap coverage and the tire protection. I am keeping the warranty, but I want the other two removed and I want my loan rewritten. The finance manager said, I am not sure we can do that. She said, yes, you can. I have 30 days to cancel under state law, rewrite the loan, or I am filing a complaint with the state attorney general. They rewrote the loan. Her new payment is $395. She is saving $55 per month. Over 72 months, that is $3,960. That money is staying in her account. It is not padding a commission. It is not financing products she did not need. She sent me a message last week. It said, thank you for teaching me how to fight back. I am telling everyone I know. That is what I want you to do. Share this video. Send it to anyone in your life who is buying a vehicle. Post it in every group you are part of, because the only way this system changes is if buyers stop falling for it. Reward the dealerships that show you the clean payment first, the ones that explain every product cost before you sign. The ones that give you clarity instead of confusion. Those are the ones that deserve your business. Walk away from the ones that deflect, the ones that rush you, the ones that make you feel stupid for asking basic questions. They are protecting their profit, not your interests. You now know how payment packing works. You know the exact question to ask. You know what to do if they refuse to answer. The finance manager is going to smile. He is going to act like your friend. He is going to congratulate you and make you feel taken care of. Maybe he is being honest, or maybe he just packed $5,000 into your payment and you will spend the next 6 years paying for products you never wanted. The only way to know is to ask the question. Show me the clean payment first. And if he will not show you, you already have your answer. If this video just saved you thousands, hit subscribe. Drop a comment and tell me what happened in your finance office. What payment did they build? What products did they pack? Let us map the pattern together and share this everywhere. Send it to anyone buying a vehicle this month. The dealerships that hide the clean payment lose when buyers know the game. You just learned the game. Now go play it.